Hello, friends! A parent's love for their children is a classic example of unconditional and selfless love. More often than not, they will sacrifice their desires and happiness to fulfill their children's wishes. Today, I'll tell you a story about a poor father who almost lost everything in life due to a disability, but how one photo changed everything. Stay until the end of the video to learn more about this overwhelming story of hardship and prosperity. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for more amazing stories like this one. In the capital city of the Philippines, a poor father took his two daughters for lunch at a restaurant. His daughters had frequently expressed a desire to dine at that particular restaurant. He had saved money for a month to take his daughters to their favorite place. Ryan counted his coins to make sure he could pay the bill with the money he had saved. As the money was barely enough, he decided not to order anything for himself. His daughters laughed and enjoyed their meal, while the poor father simply smiled, looking at his happy daughters. He was hungry himself, but only ate the small amount of food offered to him by his daughters. A man named Hunel Sarange was sitting next to their table. He worked as a real estate agent in Manila. Hunel witnessed the selfless act of the father and his sacrifice for his daughters. He was captivated by it. He secretly took a picture of them. Later that day, he shared that picture he had taken in the restaurant and the story of the selfless father on his social media account. In the caption, he wrote, "This is a photo of a father's love, a depiction of genuine selflessness." Hunel was an influential man, and his post quickly gained the attention of the netizens. In a matter of hours, his post went viral, and the father was being referred to as the selfless father. Many people sympathized with the family in Hunel's picture. People messaged Hunel, asking for more information about the poor family. After seeing people's responses, Hunel went to the restaurant the very next day. He inquired about the family and soon found out where they lived. Hunel learned that the man's name was Ryan Arellano and his two daughters were named May and Anne. Hunel went to see Ryan at his house. He was baffled to see that Ryan and his daughters lived in a container about 4.5 square yards. The house was constructed of rusted iron sheets and plywood. He talked to the man to learn more about him. Ryan used to work as a street vendor in Tondo, Manila. A few years ago, Ryan had suffered a stroke. His life was turned upside down. The stroke had paralyzed half of his body, and he was permanently incapacitated. Due to a lack of money, he did not take his therapy sessions. Because of this disability, he was unable to work for months. After being released from the hospital, he could not even speak properly. Things only got worse from there. When Ryan was not able to provide for his family, his wife left him. She abandoned him when he needed her the most. The most challenging thing for him to accept was that his beloved wife abandoned him when he was in trouble. But Ryan refused to give up since he had 2 children to raise. To make matters worse, she took their daughters with her. Ryan was left devastated by all this. He missed his old life, but mostly, he missed his beloved daughters. In those darkest hours, it was the thought of getting his daughters back that kept him going. After he recovered, he opened a small shop. He also tried to persuade his wife to return once he had enough money, but she refused. His wife was willing to grant custody of the girls to him once he established his ability to earn money. Things got a bit better for Ryan when he was able to reclaim his children. After Hunel came to know the heartbreaking story of Ryan, he was overwhelmed by compassion for him. He felt obliged to help such a steadfast and selfless father. When Hunel got home, he posted Ryan's story and everything he had learned about him. He contacted people who had shown interest in helping Ryan and his family. He informed them about Ryan's needs in detail. Hunel told them that Ryan needed money for medical expenses and treatment, livelihood assistance, and educational expenses for his daughters. The Good Samaritans responded positively and immediately started sending donations for Ryan. To Hunel's surprise, within 1 month, there were enough donations to restore Ryan's house. Ryan did not spend a single dime on himself with the aid that he received. After he completed renovations to his container, he invested in his shop to make the income steadier. As Hunel's post went viral, more and more people offered help for Ryan. The restaurant where he had taken his daughters took Ryan to a grocery store for a shopping spree. Ryan bought all the necessary items for his daughters. Ryan's viral photo was even seen by an actor, Piolo Pasquale. The actor provided the best gift for Ryan. He promised to provide scholarships to Ryan's daughters, May and Anne. He also provided Ryan with a mobile phone and told him not to hesitate to contact him. Both sisters were sent to a private school named Jose Corazon de Jesus Elementary School. May was enrolled in grade 2, while Anne enrolled in kindergarten. When the school learned about Ryan's inspirational story of fatherhood, they decided to provide a scholarship for May and Anne. A local bookstore also stepped in and offered to take care of the expenses of school supplies for the girls. Even after Ryan was able to secure a good education and school expenses for his daughters, he was still cautious in spending money. He invested the remaining money and purchased used tricycles. He rents them out as he is unable to drive one. Now, every day, Ryan walks his daughters to school. He believes that one day, he and his daughters will be able to get away from the slum. Ryan owes Hunel a debt of gratitude because it was through him that his life took a positive turn. His wife also saw her husband's viral photo. She followed Ryan's story and was heartbroken to know that she had left such a selfless man. She never returned to her husband and daughters. No one knows why she didn't return, even after things got better for Ryan and their 2 little girls. Ryan, the selfless father, was able to get people's attention because of his pure intentions and loving heart. His love for his daughters eventually changed his life forever. But he is not the sole hero of our story. Hunel's act of love is also worth mentioning. Even though he lacked the financial means to assist them, Hunel was optimistic that things would get better. He tried and found a way that, in the end, made all the difference. So what message does this story impart to us? Well, this story is all about a father's love for his daughters and the generosity of strangers. Like Ryan, every father frequently sacrifices their interests and pleasures to provide their children with a happy and beautiful life. And sometimes, generous strangers can help you reach that goal. Our story ends here. Comment below to let us know your thoughts about Ryan and Hunel. Who do you think is the real hero? Before going anywhere, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get more inspiring and amazing stories like this one. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time.